Two men knocked out cold by same suspect on busy Chicago street.
Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
While Chicago is no stranger to crime, the Windy City gained even more notoriety after a video captured two men being knocked out cold by the same suspect on a busy street. It's the response of 5 nearby females, however, that has really left viewers scratching their heads. The 400 block of State Street in Chicago became a scene of chaos at approximately 1:30 a.m. on a Saturday, and it was all caught on video by a nearby surveillance camera. In the footage, a man in a green shirt and dark shorts is seen being chased and confronted by at least 2 other men, the Blaze reported. Sadly, things were quickly going to go from bad to worse. Although it's unclear what precipitated the incident, the men are seen taking turns pushing and punching the other man. He appears to square up in preparation for a fight at times, but then attempts to run off. Unfortunately, his efforts to get away are all in vain as one of his pursuers, a much taller man wearing a blue baseball cap, body slams the guy to the ground. Rather than end the confrontation, it quickly becomes apparent that things are only just heating up when seconds after body slamming his victim, the suspect delivers a blow to the man's head, and he collapses in the middle of the busy Chicago street. That's when things went from frightening to downright bizarre, as a group of females and their odd reaction to the violence was caught on video. As seen in the clip, the group of about 5 females appears to react to the chaos and excitement by twerking in front of traffic just feet away from the victim. As they dance and gyrate in the traffic lane, vehicles are forced to wait patiently for the spectacle to end. All the while, the victim of the attack lays motionless in the street. Disturbingly, the already troubling ordeal only gets worse from there. As seen in the footage at about the 1:45 timestamp, the man in the blue hat strikes again, sucker punching and dropping a second man to the ground on the lower left-hand side of the video frame. The second victim, who also appears to be knocked out cold by the wannabe boxer, seemingly has no connection to the prior incident and what transpired with the first victim whatsoever. The man only appeared to be simply trying to cross the street when the aggressor came up behind him and walloped him in the head without warning, causing him to collapse in the street. Initially, it appears bystanders aren't going to do anything until one man cautiously approached the victim. It's quickly evident, however, he wasn't there to lend a hand. Instead of offering assistance, the onlooker decides to seize the opportunity to rummage in the man's pockets before others gather around like vultures, with one guy stealing the man's shoes. The first victim also appears to be meeting the same fate as crowds gather around each man lying in the street, not to render aid or end the violence, but rather in an effort to steal from them as they are out cold. As if the display wasn't already disgusting enough, it gets even more abhorrent when the victims finally seem to regain consciousness. As the first victim gets up from the street and attempts to fight back, the man in the blue baseball cap comes back to deliver another beating. Meanwhile, the second victim staggers toward the sidewalk but doesn't get far as he's pushed back down into the street. Just before the video comes to a close, the crowd begins to disperse, with some of the people seen taking inventory of the loot they were able to pick off the victims, who are sprawled out in the road, waiting for help to hopefully arrive. The man in the green shirt reportedly suffered abrasions to his face, but refused medical attention, a police spokesperson told CWB Chicago. According to the station, both men were robbed, and the man who was sucker punched is 40 years old and was taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, but his condition wasn't known. A man is seen appearing to take inventory of a bag he stole from one of the victims, who was out cold in the street. It is truly hard to find words to describe such a revolting incident. From sucker punches to twerking celebrations as men are victimized just feet away, and vultures who rob incapacitated, injured victims, this is definitely an ugly view of the worst society has to offer. Perhaps CWB Chicago summed it up best when they said, maybe the most revolting part of the video is the fact that something like that could happen in one of the city's busiest nightlife districts for over 5 minutes before a police officer was able to make their way to the scene. Think about that the next time you hear calls to defund the police. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and smash that like button. We really appreciate your continuous support.